Well, hi, everybody. My name is Chris Barton,
And I'm Jennifer Ziegler.
and we both write books for young people, and we love talking with other authors of books for young people about the dedications in their books. Today, we're talking with our friend Miranda Paul. Hello, Miranda.
Hi, Chris and Jennifer.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We're doing
We're
all
doing
right.
good. It's great to have you here.
We're
It's
going to
great to
talk
be
today about the dedication in your book, Speak Up. To start us off, would you read the dedication out loud so we can hear that in your own voice?
Absolutely. This is a very special one to me. The illustrations here are by Ebony Glenn, and she made a nice little illustration on the dedication page too. So I just want to show her beautiful illustration. To the students I met at Indian Hill Elementary who spoke up and asked for their names to be printed in my next book. Halima, Zaid M, Gabby, Mapior, Itzel, Stacy, Stephen, Carlos, Adrian, Jaslyn, and Monica. You are you and you belong.
Oh, thank you.
Can you explain why, or the story behind it and why it's dedicated to these people?
Absolutely. So I love doing school visits as an author. I think the two of you enjoy that as well. Connecting with young people is one of the best experiences and parts of this job. And so for the last couple of years, I visited the Omaha Public School District and visited many different schools. And at one of them, Indian Hill Elementary, this fabulous library media specialist named Deanna Riley told me that for lunch, a very special group of like student leaders was going to have lunch with me, and they could ask questions and we could chat and they could tell me about the great work they were doing. And it was a fabulous lunch. Not only did we have like great things to eat, but they also brought like reusable utensils and things like that. And they told me all about themselves and the work that they were doing. You know, they were like really young activists at an elementary school, right? And it was so fabulous. And then it came up, the question came up, I'm not sure which of the kids asked it first, but they said, could we be in your next book? And I just stopped and I said, well, sure. I'm not exactly sure right now what my next book is going to be because I didn't have a contract at that point. But I said, sure, why don't you guys write down your names so we never forget this day. And the next time that I'm able to insert names into a book, I will put your names. And this is the fulfillment of that promise that day. And I'm so glad that it ended up being the book Speak Up, because that's exactly what they did. They spoke up and asked for something. And that probably took a lot of courage because I knew some of these kids, even though they were student leaders, they were very nervous. So it's really special because Ebony Glenn's art, I have a photo of me with these kids, and Ebony Glenn's art, these kids, like I can match them up with some of these characters that came out of Ebony's head, and they look just like the kids. I mean, now it's several years later, so they've moved on to like middle school and possibly even high school, some of them. So yeah, definitely, it just kind of came full circle. It's a very special dedication for me.
Was Speak Up already in the works at the time that you visited that school?
The truth is, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd already written the first draft, if not the final draft. But this book has an interesting story in that I wrote it. It came from a lot of experiences that had happened to me or my family or in our community. And I put it away because I thought it sounds kind of didactic. Nobody really wants to be told like to speak up, or it just, for me, it felt like, that's what, the rules online, everyone's telling you, don't submit something that sounds like instructions. So I had put it away for a while, maybe a year or more. In between when I wrote it and then when I pulled it back out, and then still when I finally decided to submit it.
It's an important message for young readers, but it's a really important message for everyone. So thank you for this book. I'm curious, how did the dedicatees find out that this book was dedicated to them?
So as soon as I was asked for the dedication and I knew what it was going to be, I emailed Deanna Riley and said, hey, remember me? I came to Indian Hill a couple of years ago. Well, here's the photo I took of that piece of paper, because I had it tacked on on my bulletin board for years, right? I had this little list of names on my corkboard for years. I said, these are the kids that, were in there. Remember when we had lunch? And she's like, oh yeah, I totally remember. I was like, can you just confirm for me that everybody wrote their names correctly? And she's like, yeah, everything's correct. And so we talked on the phone, and she verified that for me, told some of the kids. And then when the book came out, I had one of my favorite bookstores in Nebraska, Chapters, Books and Gifts in Seward, sent copies for everybody so that everybody could have their own copy. And so yeah, that was really special to be able to just say, here, you're in a book, your name's in a book, and here's a copy for you so you can remember that.
That's fantastic.
Did you hear back from any of the kids?
I haven't heard back from any of the kids at this point, but I just before this call left a voicemail on Ms. Riley's library media office voicemail. I don't know if they're in person, for school right now. So it's been a little bit difficult trying to get a hold, but I left her a message saying that I was gonna record a special message about this dedication, and if she wanted to, get back to me, and maybe we could figure that out in the future. But I hope to go back there and at least take a picture with some of them. That would be fantastic.
Were those the first kids at one of your school visits who had asked you to include them in a book? Had you gotten that request before?
I had never gotten that request before, and I haven't gotten that request since. Now that this video is out, I don't know.
So have you thought about strategies as readers read the dedication, or maybe see this video, and when you do school visits from now on and they're like, can I also would like to be in a book. Have you thought about strategies on how to handle that?
No, I haven't, but now I'm scared. No, maybe I should. No, I think that's
read a lot of books.
Exciting. I was kind of shy as a kid. I probably never would have asked. Like I would have been like wanting to ask, but I probably never would have asked it.
I think some people might be surprised to hear that you were shy as a kid. So you learned how to speak up, obviously.
Teachers, teachers, they're always telling you to speak up.
Are you ready? Okay.
Wait, no, sorry.
Is there like a bloopers at the end? Do we do outtakes where we're like, ah!
All right. Serious face, professional face. All right.
No, you're gonna make Okay.